Hey, just testing to make sure you guys can hear me. I'm going to double check. I'm going to send a notification. All right, that's my normal test. I always take a look, see what you guys are saying. I'm going to let a couple people more join here, and we've got an update for you. I'm going to flip this over here. I'm not going to send I'm going to switch this to the radar. I do want to talk about some of this rain here. So as I let a few more people join, I'm going to send a push notification so that people can join. But I do want to talk about some of this rain that's coming up here shortly. So that's going to be important for some of us here over the next few days. So there are going to be some more overnight storms perhaps. So I'm going to get on here and I'm going to talk to you for a second here shortly. So more rain settling in late Sunday with, let's see, heavy rain and severe weather possible. Monday. All right. I'm coming. We are sending that out. Well, that's not going to work, actually. All right. So I'm here, and I'm going to flash the screen on, guys, and welcome as we talk a little bit about what's going on. Weather impact meteorologist Gary Frank. I'll go through the normal spiel that I do here. Just as we have about 100 people watching us here, at least on the Facebook stream. I can't get on the YouTube stream as easy. I try to look at the comments if you have any of them. That way we can answer what's going on. Because we got some dynamic weather here as we get ready to fall back heading into Sunday, right? So the main story for us is the fact that we actually got some rain the other day. It was windy. We had an overnight tornado warning. The sirens woke a lot of people up. So we want to get ahead of something that may be a little similar in terms of stronger to severe storms. So I want to talk about that. Let's focus on how we get there first, because we're actually, first and foremost, going to see a lot of heavy rain for a lot of people, I think. And as you look at this pretty wide system here that is kind of settling in with this wide rain, as I put this on the full screen, and you can see that that's nothing to really write home about. There's rain that's moving over the same location, and as I kind of get this set up for you here, you're going to be able to see that for the most part here, there's still some pretty good rain moving forward here. So what's going on right now is as we have this rain that's going to ride along this front, we also have a warm front that's going to lift north for us tomorrow morning. That's going to bring us a slight chance for rain. It's nothing crazy. Sunday is not a big rain day, and it's certainly not a severe weather day for us. But as we look at what's going on right now, look at all the flash flood warnings and flash flood watch area that goes all the way from central Kansas to Oklahoma City. And as I show you what's happening here, look at the drought monitor. All these areas right here, and I'm going to drag this out. I'm going to pull this out here so I can drag this a little further and show you exactly where that rain is headed. I mean, this is extreme drought. So how do you get into flash flood warnings and watches with extreme drought? And that's kind of where we're headed, I think, you know, in some terms throughout the region, because this rain is moving over the same location. And while I think that we can absorb a lot of rain, it still will get to a localized flooding point. I don't think this is a widespread flash flooding like that, but this will get to a localized flooding thing for us here. So right now, you'll look at our current temperatures. You can see where there's nothing too crazy, no big contrast, but we have 60s and 70s. That is where there's this moisture pool that we're going to see here. And with the surface humidity that we kind of look at by Sunday morning, you'll watch this warm front move. The humidity is going to rise as that warm front lifts north. There may be a few showers around, but it's nothing too crazy. So as we look ahead to what's going on here, I'll put this on the full screen so you can see it a little better. Because by tomorrow morning, we'll start off with a few showers. Like I said, tomorrow, no severe weather, but we'll start this be the scene setter for us here. A few light showers around by midday, not too much either, but we'll look off to the west in Gasconade and Reynolds, and more of that rain settles in by 2 or 3 o'clock. It'll take some time, but it's going to work its way in as that rain starts to work its in. Once again, very, very light. And then even as we head into the afternoon and evening, nothing crazy. I'll pause it by 10 o'clock because I want to show you what I think tomorrow's going to look like. I think a lot of tomorrow is dry, and keep in mind, a little side note, 6:31, the sunrise there, but low to mid 60s for most of the day, low 70s. There are a couple of spikes in chances for rain at times, but then a southeast breeze at 5 to 10 miles an hour. What we're going to look at by Monday evening is more significant rainfall throughout the region. And we talked about that cold front here. That's what is going to settle in. We've got that scene setter for us here with humidity, with that warm front, but now as we see this front that settles in with some other important dynamics as well that go into severe weather potential in November, we're going to see that kind of settle in. Now, for most of us, this is off to the west and southwest, right? I think the better opportunity is going to really come during the peak heating of the day for those areas. Probably not so much for us, and I think that's pretty much reflected in what I would like to show you when it comes to our Storm Prediction Center outlook for Monday. But this is one of the main reasons for our severe weather, at least potential here, because as we look at this severe threat on Monday, you look at how wide this thing is. This settles in. I'll zoom back in so you can get the specific counties, because there are a few spots for us that are under that slight risk for severe weather. I think by Monday, it's more central Missouri. It's off to the southwest. I wouldn't be surprised they maybe bump one of these spots to an enhanced risk at some point. I don't think that necessarily impacts us quite as much, but a lot of this has to do with the timing of where this is, because, you know, for the most part, a lot of this is going to happen toward the tail end of the day. There's not as much heat involved. A lot of this is going to be a wind threat. So I want to show you what this may look like here as let me zoom. I did tell you I was going to zoom into some of those spots. This is Monday. This is Monday through the day. This, you know, some of these spots, like I mentioned, late in the day, Monday into early Tuesday. Rolla, Herman, like I said, part of Franklin County as well. So there's a lot going on here. Some spots, don't get hung up too much on the marginal versus the slight risk. I would say just focus on the fact that the better storm ingredients and fuel are south and west of here. There'll be some spots that are involved in it. We still have that potential as well. And that's the main reason that we're going to be under a weather impact alert day Monday into Tuesday. First and foremost, I think there are a couple of things in play here for us right now. Severe weather in the fall and winter certainly does happen. It does happen, and we're seeing a lot of wind at play with that right now, and I think that's the main thing that we're going to see. We're not going to see some 80, 90 degree temperature, and we're certainly not going to see some crazy humidity, but there are enough of those minor things that are involved in this that are even going to produce that locally heavy rain with wind gusts to 40 to 60 miles an hour. So at a bare minimum, I think that's what we're looking at. I don't think that we're going to start banging the drum and say you're going to get woke up with a tornado warning again in the middle of the night. Absolutely not. It's not out of the question that one or two of those could happen, and that's another thing that I'll talk about. But I think locally heavy rain and severe thunderstorm warnings in the middle of the night are absolutely in play here for Monday into Tuesday. Now, our biggest impact will be localized flooding, I think, when we talk about that Monday into Tuesday, and I've blanketed them all for now because when we talk about severe weather, there's a couple of hour window for that late Monday into Tuesday. But I think rain overall on Monday, especially early Monday morning, will create some of that localized flooding regardless of how dry we've been. And the damaging wind in that late Monday, early Tuesday time frame with a brief tornado is not out of the question as well, especially as we start to get those soils a little bit more loose with some of that rain. So I think that we're going to have to look at that for sure. Here's how this may play out as I put this on the full screen so you can take a look at this again. Bill says he loves it. Jim's going to be digging up the taters, and I read that in the voice like he typed it, so I enjoy that there, Jim. But I believe we're going to get some dry weather here during the day on Sunday, and it's really one of those days you want to clean out the gutters here, things like that, get rid of the leaves in your yard because they're going to be sitting there for a while. So here's what I mean in terms of heavy rain, because by 9 or 10 o'clock, when I see you after this super late football game, because all these games are super late, we're going to be talking about some heavy rain. So we're going to devote a pretty good hour of that newscast to heavy rain, I would bet. So as we talk about what's going on 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, there may be some rain with some wind gusts up to 20 or 30. Nothing too crazy Monday, but it's a steady rain, and your Monday commute is going to be very rainy. Like I said, it's going over the same location, so it's starting to wet things, and then we get a little bit of a dry period, and that helps dry us out and clear from that flooding potential. But watch what's going on at this point, off to our west. And watch this, because as that line at about 11 or 12, look where the better dynamics, some of those reds and oranges are going to be in central Missouri. But there are going to be a few spots that may at least provide that opportunity for a weak rotating storm or some brief wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour, even as that continues to work its way off to the east. However, look at 5 or 6 in the morning. I think it generally weakens, and you'll see that more turn to green and yellow. It doesn't mean it won't be severe, but I think it'll start to wind down, and then we'll still see some of that rain hang around. That's the big story for us. As the rain hangs around, we still may have that as a nuisance into Election Day, where a lot of people are spending some time outside standing in line. So we'll really try to get this in. But look at the heaviest rain. I mean, you're talking 3, 4, 5 inches of rain. And I think there are going to be some spots by all things said and done by Tuesday or Wednesday. I think 1 to 2 inches of rain, very, very possible, very likely. So that's the main story I think that we'll get overall from this, but there are some of those fine-tuned areas here when it comes to the potential for severe weather. So as I continue to look at this, I'm going to attach this video. If you're just following along, I'm going to keep you posted here. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here Monday in preparation for this, working each night. So I'm going to attach this to our web story. It gives you more of the timing and details and how things are settled, and we'll of course update that for you. But right now, talking about the potential for some heavy rain at the very least. Like I said, it's the main impacts for us, I think, are going to be localized flooding as we get some of that heavy rain with 2 to 3 inches of rain and wind gusts of 40 to 60 miles an hour. There may be one of those brief, weak tornadoes that develops. We had the possibility of one the other night. Nothing really came to fruition for most of us, but it got a lot of your attention late at night. Not out of the question again, so we'll keep you posted on that. But right now, localized flooding, some higher wind gusts. Those are the two things. Like I said, I'll put this in our web story on ksdk.com, and this, of course, lives on 5+. We'll see you then. We'll keep you posted until then. And I'm going to leave this on the full screen, and I'll let you guys look at this right now as we continue to keep you posted for that heavier rain and potential for severe weather as we head into the next few days. So that's going to be our main story here for the next few days as you continue to look this on the 5+ stream. Have a good night, and I'll try to answer any of your questions. Kathy said, also, I just saw this last one. When did I stop including Gasconade County? I'm including it. I actually just mentioned it. You can rewind on this stream, Kathy. So I'm sorry that you think I'm not including Gasconade County, but I definitely just mentioned it a few minutes ago on the stream. And I'll continue to mention it in every other county that I can. Anyway, have a good night, all, and we'll see you later.